You're watching Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. The top stories on our desk this evening: Mutendere residents storm police post after rumors of an inmate dying in custody. PIT-LATRINES overflow to people's homes in LUSAKA'S KALINGALINGA compound. Fewer monthly reviews have not affected any company, charges Energy Minister Peter KAPALA. In international news, blackouts in South Africa put pressure on health care. And in sports news, Arsenal forward GABRIEL signs new contract.
Good news, good news. The rains have started. You need to plan your future. Generational wealth is the way to go. Has grafted avocado plants fruiting within 2 to 3 years for sale at only 90 kwacha each, and ordinary avocados at only 45 kwacha each. Contact us on 0979 753010 or 0962 965 883. We are open from 8 hours to 17 hours, Monday to Friday, at Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, opposite Hilltop Hospital.
Once again, thank you for choosing us. The news in detail. A dead body of a man suspected to be from Garden Compound, Lima Ward 30, was found in the same community in the early hours of Friday, February 3rd, 2023. Residents have lamented to Camnet News that there has been attacks in the area believed to be orchestrated by community gangs. The residents have since appealed to the relevant authorities to consider intensifying patrols in the area in order to stop the criminal activities. Meanwhile, Area Councillor Daniel has urged the residents to avoid moving at night and make sure that they are escorted at all times. Let's look at this.
An accredited safe community benefits more than just injury prevention and crime prevention. They also see a reduction in the numbers and cost of violence. However, in some communities, lives of men and women have been taken early. Friday, 3rd February 2023, a body of a young man was found in Garden Compound, Lima Ward 30, and is believed to have been killed by junkies. The residents have explained that the victim's head had what looked like a stone cut in his head, showing that it was a murder.
Batibachira mwama janki ubushikubonze ba police bameko kulachitako patrol mwani trende fyaba mweso takwaba kwanze bokwapita songa ndio afika 21 22 majanki akalafuru mwanzi mpempako government mwanzi nisianganileko.
Daniel Mwewa, Area Councillor, has explained that the lack of security in the area is worrying. He has since appealed to the police to intensify security by conducting tight patrols in the area and ensure that the perpetrators are put to book.
Tapeza muntu okufa bamutaira parod then mukamuyangandisa maningi alina chironda kumuntu yone kamanga benzo bamuchaya chumwala. So for us as a local leadership, this is worrying because a month is not passing currently without recording such a case. It's an appeal to my community members to say, let's observe security measures. Let's not move at night. When you don't have what you are doing, stay home. Nice amene to sevenza when you're knocking, or if possible, call someone from home. Ask someone to escort you home. Otherwise, we are no longer safe. I'm also appealing to the police to intensify their patrols. I know they are doing a lot. I know we are just informed that there are about 50 junkies who've been taken to court over the same issues. We applaud what they are doing, but we urge them, encourage them to intensify their patrols.
Beatrice Chabaya, Camnet News, Lusaka.
PIT-LATRINES in Kapesha Road of Kalingalinga overspill area in Lusaka are overflowing with fecal effluents following the heavy rains in the country experienced in the past few days. Speaking to Camnet News, affected residents state that the area remains flooded for days after the downpour due to the poor drainage system in the area. A check by Camnet News revealed overflowing PIT-LATRINES while the fecal matter had been carried to people's doorsteps. Viewers' discretion is advised on the story.
Residents of Kalingalinga compound in Lusaka, which is one of the most densely populated communities in the capital city, are at high risk of waterborne diseases as they are wading in water mixed with fecal effluents. This situation has come about as a result of poor drainage systems in the area, meaning that water remains stagnant and floods people's homes. A check by Camnet News along Kapeshi Road of Kalingalinga overspill area found that the floods had in turn resulted in some pit latrines filling to the rim, while others had been completely submerged. The situation has concerned affected residents.
Ma drainage niyo shinka, then ma toilet ma pit latini niyo zula manje bija vidoti, vienda manje mvingena manyumba mwa bantu. So tizadwala typhoid kuli koleti na mawana, bana sona choka noenda kuchani kuskulu.
Kudala kwenze vapushi, bamene benzo upanga ma drainage. Nanga lero vapushi vanaenda kuti vapange pushi vasipanga ma drainage. Tifuna vakansela vatikumbukeeko kuma drainage.
Others say the current situation calls for urgent action from the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU.
Vasakileko popitira manzi kuchoka mkomboni yazienda uko. Kairi hapa yakungo uzunguluka yeye yachoka kumwamba uko. Yatente mukayabwela kuno mumanyumba muzulu.
Kwenda panja manzi alifulu mumanyumba muli manzi tikangi wanakuja panja manzi atuka matoilet ya zula tiyo kanaise tizati wala kolera typhoid
no ba DMMU kuno babwere batandise ko issue ya drainage
apombolele manzi
apombolele ko manzi zakonisa branch se issue kuno
akansela na DMMU tepa ko tandizo tipempa manzi achoka choke matuvi achoka stoenda matuvi astongena na munyumba tipempa ma drainage basipangeko ma drainage.
Meanwhile, Kalingalinga Ward 36 Councillor Mukubesa Nyoni says while the problem can be addressed using Constituency Development Fund, there is need to break down bureaucracy when accessing emergency funds.
Come end of this year, we should have a solution. However, this is a serious appeal for me, because in the Constituency Development Fund guideline, there's a contingency fund for each ward, which is 361,000. This is meant for disasters, and a disaster is something that needs immediate action. However, the procedure is that you have to follow the same sequence of Ward Development Committee, CDF Committee, local authority, provincial.
In the meantime, the councillor says there is need for DMMU to move in, while his office pushes for the release of emergency funds. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Traders at Chilenje Market have called on the council to inspect the operations of bars in the market. The traders have disclosed that there has been illegal selling of alcohol in the market, which has affected the activities and the safety of the market patrons. Meanwhile, Area Councillor Mr. Ruben Mwenya explains to Camnet News that a structure was set up in the market as a liquor store but has been turned into a drinking place, which is alleged to have been selling alcohol not only to adults but underage children.
Alcohol is a drug that retards one's thinking, with worse reactions on those with no capacity to maintain a high level of self-control. This has on many occasions resulted in others failing to choose between right and wrong, thereby committing acts that may be offensive to society. Concerns have therefore been raised by market traders over the bars surrounding their trading spaces. This is because bar patrons end up defecating around the area, posing health risks to the traders and customers. Challenge market traders, community hall chairperson and area councillor have lamented about the selling of alcohol at the market. Challenge Ward 8 councillor Ruben Mwenya says foreign traders at Challenge Market are not adhering to the trading guidelines and has since called on to the local authorities to act before the market becomes worse.
We're having quite a challenge in Kawata and also particularly in Challenge. You see, there's this mushrooming of a lot of liquor shops, home shops that have been turned into beer drinking places. You find that people will be drinking as early as 8 hours, which is very unfortunate. There are a lot of people that are doing this. Are these foreign nationals? These Burundi and Rwandanese guys are the ones that have just, it's like they've just come here to do business in selling alcohol in the neighborhoods. They don't care even who they sell. You see, the law says alcohol should be sold to people that are above 18 years. But you find that even children that are 15, youths that are even, you know. It's just unfortunate that also I think we're having a weakness with our officers, our technocrats at council, because they're failing to enforce the law. The law is already there. So you wonder, why are they failing to enforce? Are they part of it? We begin to suspect them now, because each time we ask them to go and enforce the law on these people, it's not happening.
Meanwhile, Ward Development Committee Chairperson for Chilenje Ward 8, Chipuma Maulu, has attributed the flooding of community hall offices in the area to the placement of the liquor store, which has blocked free flow of water. He has explained that since the structure was put up in front of the community hall, rainwater that is supposed to flow into the drainages stays blocked, thereby causing floods.
Concerning this container, it's just near the community hall. When it's raining, there's a lot of floods which end up going into the offices of the Ministry of Home Affairs, where they're doing NRCs, even the office of the WTC. You find the offices are all flooded because of this container. And further, there's a problem of alcohol abuse in this container, because you find that from morning, people are buying, the owners of the container are selling alcohol, which is very bad to the people in the markets.
Beatrice Chabaya, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Residents of Mutendere compound in Lusaka Friday afternoon protested against the police, accusing them of torturing a suspect in their custody. The protest ensued at Mutendere police station after reports that a suspect had died while in police cells. The residents narrate that the suspect was arrested 4 days ago after misplacing 80 kwacha belonging to his employer at a shop in Mutendere Market. But when contacted for a comment, Zambia Police Deputy Public Relations Officer Danny Mwali has dismissed claims, stating that the suspect was tortured and died. He states that the suspect has been taken to Chainama Hills Hospital as he was throwing himself on the floor in the cell, leading to his injuries.
Irate residents of Mutendere compound in Lusaka Friday afternoon almost burnt down Mutendere police station following a report that a suspect who is a trader at Mutendere Market had died from torture while in police cells. The angry mob was, however, stopped by the police, who mobilized themselves to prevent any damage to the public infrastructure. According to fellow traders at the market, the suspect was arrested 4 days ago after being reported by his employer for failing to hand over 80 kwacha worth of profit. The suspect was, however, Friday afternoon mistaken for dead as he was severely injured and had burn marks on his body.
Aendo muchosa kuborona muntu wamene wachosa si muntu futi si muntu monga vanamutira manzuku niwo vimba kuipa vironda kumusana uku awe si muntu manje vile famile vamuchita kumbuyo konso kuvatokera kuti manja kuvimba yonse yaja ise famile mukongeze kwenda kujenino kulata ndoyopa ise kupesa manja monga tapa ashokewa na muliro uku konse ukuvimba koze votinda kumwamuna kwa vimba chani amu tumatishti shako mulembwe na oyo mulembwe wako so wako sechine chine era namba yaba aisa mkumutwala ku polisi baya mkumuma mu polisi yaba muma mu polisi bamufumya umwana takweta amaka katsinga bari mutocha akachirishadi ama bakotsina amalaiti tatikwata amaka winango naye kayaboka matichaka mwalira ndemwe meta bwerera manje se naba na make boni na uje nataenda wile wali 4 taenda kuti taenda ku hospital kuti tafunza kuti ayi uje muntu wabwera apa baenda naye chabe straight kuja kuchani so mwamela alichita kuja so titina muone ise suzenda pela chaba mika vija vaku wabala chapita maximum vakumpu.
Meanwhile, a human rights advocate, Christopher Shalwabala, says the Ministry of Home Affairs should investigate police operations.
Now, the word of advice to the Minister of Home Affairs, perhaps, and the other relevant bodies is that they should see to it that it's the duty of each and every government, globally if you like, including the Zambian government, to help and protect your own citizens. Gone are days whereby if somebody of a high profile in society commits a crime and the police would start looking at the color of that particular person, the standing of that particular person, I think to me justice is for everyone.
Zambia Police Deputy Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale, however, says the suspect had mental issues, stating that he was hitting himself on the floor, hence the injuries, and has been taken to Chainama Hills Hospital.
Now, this suspect was put in police custody, but apparently his behavior became unusual while he's in police cells. So his colleagues in cells reported to the police that he was behaving strangely. He was behaving like somebody who is not... who is mentally disturbed. So that's how police released that person, taking him to Chainama. Now, when it went round in Mutendere compound that somebody has died in police custody.
Community members have however called for more investigations into the matter. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Zambia Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale says the service has caught up with some criminals who have been stealing cobalt ore as well as cobalt concentrates. In an interview, Mr. Mwale says police received a tip-off from members of the public on the 1st of February 2023 in Kitwe, leading to the discovery of a stolen truck carrying 35 tons of cobalt ore and cobalt concentrates. He states that this further led to the discovery of a warehouse packed with more of the minerals in LUSAKA'S Makeni area belonging to a named company, and investigations led to the missing truck with the said items on board being found at the said company. Details in this report.
With minerals like copper and cobalt on high demand around the world, the Zambia Police Service has been chasing after criminals involved in the illegal sale of these minerals, while urging members of the public to remain alert and report suspected theft. The police service seems to be slowly closing in on what may turn out to be a long chain of illegal dealers in these minerals after a warehouse has been discovered in LUSAKA'S Makeni area containing 391 tons of illegal cobalt ore and cobalt concentrate. Speaking at the said company, whose name has been concealed for investigation purposes, Zambia Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale says the warehouse was found after a missing truck was found at the company carrying a separate 35 tons of the same minerals. He states that this investigation started after a tip-off from members of the public in Kitwe on 1st February 2023 that a missing truck had been spotted carrying the said minerals.
So this truck went missing. It was reported missing in the copper belt. Then immediately police launched investigations. So police launched investigations based on the report that was made to police in the copper belt. So as we were going on with our investigations, that truck was discovered here where we are in Makeni area. The truck was loaded with 35 tons of cobalt oil. Now, in the process, we came to discover that here at the venue, there are 391 tons of cobalt oil and cobalt concentrate.
He asked that some of the sacks were cleared as flammable solids, concealing the real identity of the minerals.
This is what police are able to do. Of late, we've had thefts of both copper cathodes and these type of minerals. But this is a plus to us, the Zambia police, even the people of Zambia, that we are able to make such a recovery at a go. So we are up with the game, and we will make sure that we bring all the culprits involved, all the culprits behind this. We will make sure that we bring them to book. The companies that supplied this, the 2 companies, we have them, and our investigations have been heightened.
Mr. Mwale says that citizens will be updated on investigations as they unfold. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Government says no company has so far been affected by the monthly review of fuel pump prices. Responding to a question raised by a journalist at a media briefing held in Lusaka Friday afternoon, Energy Minister Peter KAPALA says unless a government sees a written statement from a company that has been affected by the monthly review, it does not believe the companies are being affected. And the Energy Minister says there is no need to unbundle ZESCO into 3 entities because ZESCO is a small company. The Energy Minister, however, says the people should be concerned about the indebtedness of ZESCO and how it can be restructured.
The monthly review of fuel pump price has received a lot of backlash from members of the general public and players in the transport business who feels the decision has been negatively affecting them. Energy experts such as Dr. Johnston Chikwanda have also advised the government to revert to a quarter review of fuel, which it says the monthly review has been affecting players in the sector. Energy Minister Peter KAPALA has however told journalists in Lusaka Friday that the monthly review of fuel pump price has not negatively affected any company, adding that unless government sees a written statement from a company complaining over the monthly review, the decision will still stand.
Has the monthly reviews affected the operations of United West Radio? No. So I don't believe that, unless I need to see a written statement from a company that has been affected by the monthly pricing. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the Energy Minister has overruled the proposal by the Industrial Development Corporation (IDC) to have the country's power utility company disbanded in 3 divisions of generating, transmitting and distribution.
Unbundling of ZESCO into 3. Why should we unbundle ZESCO? ZESCO is a very small company. What we should worry is, why is ZESCO in such a debt? And how are we going to dismantle that debt?
And the minister says the shortage of fuel is as a result of some companies not abiding by their contractual obligation.
Total did not import. So if they did not import, there are bound to be a shortage, isn't it? So if they were not satisfied with the pricing mechanism, they have got the right to go to the regulator, which is the Energy Regulation Board, and state their case. So we cannot tolerate a situation whereby they've been given the permit to import and they do not import. That we are not going to take kindly. And here the Energy Regulation Board will deal with Total administratively.
And the minister says the increase in the inflow of water in the Kariba Dam, Kafiwe Lower Gorge and other dams has resulted in the increase in power generation by 305 megawatts, which it says has resulted in reduced load shedding from 8 hours to 4 hours in a day. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Gwembe Member of Parliament Tyson Simuzingili is elated that the first ever filling station will be put up in the district. Mr. Simuzingili reveals that Mount Meru, a private entity, is set to put up a filling station in Munyumbwe area. He says a team of officers from the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, are already in the district conducting site inspections of possible locations for the filling station. The lawmaker says this will ease the mode of doing business for the community, as it proved to be expensive due to long distances covered to access the commodity. He adds the coming of the first ever bank in the district and now a filling station is a great milestone, adding that the two institutions are key to attracting other major investments in the district.
The life history of our district, we have never had a filling station. And our people were toiling through to many areas looking for fuel. But I'm happy and proud to announce that Mount Meru is going to set up a filling station in Munyumbwe, Gwembe constituency. This is good news for us. This is good news for our businessmen. This is good news for our travelers. And this is good news for the entire Gwembe, because this will reduce the cost of doing business. Instead of going far, they will get the fuel within reach. I'm so excited because this will also create employment for our youths. They will need attendants, they will need cleaners, they will need security, and many other jobs. This will all go to the people and youths of Gwembe. So youths of Gwembe, please be expectant. As soon as it starts operating, you should be rest assured that the employment opportunities will be there for you. I would like to thank the New Dawn government for creating a conducive environment. We have had successful governments, but did we have a filling station? The answer is no. Why? Probably there was no conducive business environment.
The International Labour Organization in Zambia has noted that small and medium-sized enterprises are the backbone of development in many countries and the achievement of Vision 2030. Officiating at the Trainer of 10 Trainees SMEs workshop in Lusaka Thursday, ILO Country Office Director for Zambia, Malawi and Mozambique, George Okuto, says SMEs are responsible for creating more than 2/3 of the jobs worldwide. Hence the need to empower them with skills that will enable them compete favorably by managing the resources and growing the resource base into viable entities. Mr. Okuto explains that SMEs are not only crucial to the future work and employment creation, but also in driving the innovation agenda for respective countries. And Nutberry Trees Consultancy Master Trainer Jesse Nyerenda says Nutberry is conducting a series of trainers countrywide aimed at equipping SMEs with appropriate tools to realize their dreams.
We see the role of having sustainable enterprises is very crucial. Enterprises that produce goods and services for its citizens, but also create at the same time jobs for its people. And I know that we have been saying that the future of creating jobs for the youth in Zambia lies with the SMEs. And I want to agree with that. That means the SMEs have to have a special role to play. And we have developed a number of tools to help in that process.
There was a mismatch between the two, the banks and the SMEs, in that they were moving at different wavelengths. And their ability to grow did not appear to operate on the same wavelength. It is for this reason that we took the opportunity as Nutberry Trees Consultancy to be the link between the two by providing business development services and financial literacy training that would ensure that the SMEs become lender and or investor ready.
We're happy to note that the Start and Improve Your Business SIYB training program developed by ILO, which has been delivered here today, aligns with our goals of supporting SME growth. As a bank, We believe SMEs are a catalyst for growth as they produce goods and services, they create employment, and are a source of income for many, many people around the country.
Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kennedy Kalunga says government will be engaging the media to explain on all government undertakings in addressing the challenges the country is facing. Speaking when he officially opened a media engagement meeting in the country's energy sector, the Permanent Secretary says the media has a duty to disseminate information to the public, and hence them not having information will lead to total chaos. Let's look at this.
This also is part of government's wider agenda to ensure that public access to information as a key ingredient in thriving democracy as such as ours. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, it is our resolve as a ministry to make the media engagement a regular feature on our calendar in our desire and determination to promote a well-informed populace through a proactive and consistent information dissemination system. Ladies and gentlemen, now as a ministry, we will embark on this agenda that whenever there is any topical issue, we will be able to invite you here like what we've done today.
You're watching Camnet News. We take our first set of commercials. When we return, we have more interesting stories. Stay with us.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
On Monday, 16th February 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Ambassador Anton Mukwita.
Country which is 750,000 square kilometers, about 2 million of that land in hectareage is arable. We also have one of the biggest resources needed for agriculture. That is 60% of the water in the southern African region is in Zambia.
As they discuss Zambia's 2023 governance issues.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
On DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. The Economic and Financial Crimes High Court Division has ordered Patriotic Front Pambashe Member of Parliament Ronald Chitotela to pay 6.5 million kwacha to Azali Investment Limited. The court's ruling follows Mr. Chitotela's admission that he owes the company money after he entered into an agreement with it to build him a house. The court has entered a judgment on admission. However, the Anti-Corruption Commission charges that the court has omitted for delivering such a ruling on grounds that the Commission has already placed the property in question under restriction as it believes it is a process of crime. Miriam Kayamba filed this report.
Opposition Patriotic Front Pambashe Area Member of Parliament Ronald Chitotila will have to pay a sum of 6.5 million kwacha to Azadi Investment Limited following a court order. The Economic and Financial Crimes High Court Division has exercised its discretion and entered a judgment on admission for the plaintiff. Judgment on admission is a trade law that a court has power to enter judgment on admission where the evidence reveals that the admission is clear. The court may enter judgment without waiting for the determination of any other questions between the parties. The court's ruling follows Mr. Chitotila's admission that he owes Azadi Investment Limited 6.5 million kwacha. In this matter, Azadi Investment Limited has dragged Mr. Chitotila to court, demanding payment of 6.5 million kwacha, being the balance for the construction of his house worth over 9.6 million kwacha in Chongwe. However, the Anti-Corruption Commission, who were recently granted the plea by the court to be joined to the proceedings, following their interest in the matter, have submitted that the court has omitted by making such a ruling. ACC, through its investigations officer Gift Tembo, wonders why the court would proceed to making such a ruling when the commission recently told the court that its interest to join the matter was because the property in question is under restriction and the subject of investigations, as it believes the former tourism minister, Mr. Chitotila, who served under the Patriotic Front administration, is holding onto a property which is reasonably suspected to be in proceeds of crime. Mr. Chitotila, on the other hand, refutes allegations by SCC of having acquired the property in question through corrupt means. He claims to have entered into a contract to buy the property in question as bare land in 2017 at a cost of 1 million kwacha, and further that he entered into an agreement with Azadi Investment Limited to build the said house. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The court has moved to Monday the case in which National Democratic Congress leader Savoy Mboila is accused of causing injury to the public in general. The decision follows an application by the defense lawyer that he was unwell and unable to proceed the trial. In this case, Ms. Mboila is accused of issuing derogatory remarks against State House Media Director Clayson Hamasaka on a Facebook page.
The case in which National Democratic Congress and leader Savoy Mboila is facing before the LUSAKA'S Magistrate Court received an early adjournment Friday. Ms. Mboila was appearing before the subordinate court in relation to a matter she is accused of issuing derogatory remarks against State House Media Director Clayson Hamasaka on a Facebook page. Trial could not proceed despite the state being ready. The defense made an application to adjourn the case on ground that the accused lawyer is unwell. Ms. Mboila, 45, a resident of Lilai, is facing one count of offense of injury to the public in general, contrary to Section 3 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. It is alleged that Ms. Mboila, between 9th September 2022 and the 10th of September 2022, in Lusaka, whilst acting together with other persons unknown, published defamatory matter against Mr. Hamasaka on a Facebook page. During the previous court session, a Lusaka businesswoman had narrated before the court how she was left disturbed after reading an article that the accused person had written on a Facebook page. Elina Miwengi, 44, had told the Lusaka magistrate that the accused post contained allegations that Mr. Hamasaka was taking advantage of women who were desperate for jobs. The witness had testified that she was shocked with the allegations that Ms. Mboila had put across as she knew Mr. Hamasaka's personality. The accused person will appear before court on Monday next week for her continuation of trial. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
In other news, some students in Lusaka have expressed concern over the amount of money the college has required them to pay for registration. In an interview with Camnet News, the applicants at Lusaka Business College say despite having 100% bursary, they were required to pay 1,500 kwacha for registration in the same and some are afraid they may not be able to afford the money. They have since appealed to government to look into the issue as they are vulnerable.
As government works on ensuring that deserving students, especially those coming from humble backgrounds, have an opportunity to attend tertiary education by providing bursaries, many still call on the government to cover the expense 100%. Yesterday, Technology and Science Minister Felix Mutati announced the 2023 TVET Skills Bursary Awards to 14,121 students sponsored for enrollment to pursue various skills in the TVET colleges selected across the country.
Ministry is very much focused on promoting equity and promoting inclusiveness. And the reason we are focused on this is to deliver on the core mandate that we have got, delivering skills that will drive jobs, that will drive entrepreneurship.
Out of 80 applicants who applied for bursary at Lusaka Business College, about 70 people have been accepted and granted 100% bursary, which is a huge milestone for them. Despite being granted 100% bursary, the students still claim the 1,500 registration fees that they are required to pay being exorbitant. Some students spoken to by Camnet TV claim that they are unable to pay such an amount considering the current economic crisis.
I'm so happy and excited to find my name that it's out. And the course I applied for is electrical engineering craft. Yeah. Another money to register, which is not needed. So that's a challenge. I can say that it's there, but I'm happy that name is out. They look upon it. I'm not going to afford it. They need to look out the way that can help out to remove that so that we just go there.
Equally, Beon Chongani, who resides in Lusaka's Kalingalinga compound, says he is unable to meet the 1,500 registration fees needed. Despite being granted 100% bursary to study general hospitality at the college, Chongani still struggles to raise the registration fee.
There is this issue which has come in to say that us who has applied, we need to pay the sum of amount of which some of us we can't manage to pay. So if us, the applicant, we are on 100% bursary, then how does that benefit us? It's only benefiting only those who are above the datum line, but those who are below the datum line, we ain't benefiting at all.
The National Technical Education, Vocational and Entrepreneurship Training TVET policy seeks to promote equity and inclusiveness, targeting the vulnerable, disabled, women and rural youth to access quality and relevant TVET. Sampa Mlenda reporting for Camnet TV in Lusaka.
Eastern Province Minister Peter Perry has flagged off a relief food distribution of 1,300 metric tons of white maize to people affected by the flash floods across the province. Mr. Perry flagged off the distribution of the relief food at the Food Reserve Agency sheds in Chipata district. The provincial minister said 1,300 metric tons of white maize marks the first phase of the relief food distribution to those affected by flash floods during the current rain season.
Eastern Province Minister Peter Perry has flagged off the relief distribution of 1,300 metric tons of white maize. The relief distribution is scheduled to benefit 7 districts in the province where people are affected as a result of the flash floods.
It is pleasing that we are also flagging off the distribution of relief white maize in our province to cushion the adverse effects of hunger and improve food security for all our people. In this first phase of relief distribution, the New Dawn government has provided 1,300 metric tons of white maize, which will be distributed in Nyimba, Petauke, Lusangazi, Mambwe, Vubwi, Chasefu and Lundazi districts. Government has targeted the provision of 20% of free relief food to the aged, disabled, child-headed households and women-headed households in each district.
Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda represented other district commissioners, and she is happy that relief is on its way to the affected families.
Very happy and excited, but again, it's a warning to the people that are going to be beneficiaries of this maize, is that they should not sell the maize. 90% food for work, 20% strictly vulnerables. So we would make sure that the right people get the right percentage, and those that would not want to work for the food, they will not benefit. They say it's food for work. It doesn't mean that it's hard work that they're supposed to do. Maybe it's just to clean the streets or to make a road, yes, passable, just like that. So,
Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit Eastern Province Regional Coordinator Kalengo Mumba has assured that food insecurities as a result of disasters in the province will be managed effectively.
The government has provided in the first phase relief food for Nyimba, for Petauke, LUSAKA'S. The government has provided relief food for Mambwe, Vubwi, Lundazi and Chasefu. So the government has engaged project implementing partners, and these project implementing partners will ensure that 20% of that relief food is given to the disabled, to the aged, to the child-headed households, as well as the female-headed households. This 20% of the allocated relief food will be given freely. The remaining 80% will be distributed using food for work. As DMMU, under the Office of the Vice President, we are grateful as we have received a number of reports pointing to food insecurity in the entire province. So we are happy and grateful that the government has responded timely for the communities to be given some relief.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
You're still watching Camnet News. We take our second set of commercials. When we return, we have sports and international news. Stay with us.
On Monday, 16th February 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Ambassador Anton Mukwita.
Country which is 750,000 square kilometers. About 2 million of that land in hectarage is arable. We also have one of the biggest resources needed for agriculture. That is 60% of the water in the southern African region is in Zambia.
As they discuss Zambia's 2023 governance issues.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
On DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Good news, good news. The rains have started. You need to plan your future. Generation wealth is the way to go. Has grafted avocado plants fruiting within 2 to 3 years for sale at only 90 kwacha each. And ordinary avocados at only 45 kwacha each. Contact us on 0979 753010 or 0962 965 883. We are open from 8 hours to 17 hours, Monday to Friday, at Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, opposite Hilltop Hospital.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. In international news, on a race against the clock in order to save lives, the challenge for South African paramedics is getting harder, and worsening power blackouts in the nation further strains the country's health sector. In other news, Sudan and Israel say they agreed to move forward normalizing relations during a historic official visit by the Israeli foreign minister to Khartoum this week. Sudan, an Arab League member, had for decades maintained a strong stance against the state of Israel under President al-Bashir. Let's look at these stories.
On a race against the clock in order to save lives, the challenge for South African paramedics is getting harder as worsening power blackouts in the nation further strain the country's health sector.
We got called to a hospital where the generator stopped working, and then it was 18 paramedics and 9 ICU ventilated patients. And so it was 2 paramedics per patient, and then 9 of us, we had to ventilate them manually for 4 hours until the generators were fixed.
Jeanette Malanga is one of the vulnerable persons hurt by government-enforced load shedding. The Soweto resident has been forced to go without the oxygen concentrator helping her breathe. Meanwhile, her backup tank is empty. The 8 to 10 hours with no power have made it too expensive to refill. Her daughter is worried.
When I look at my mom, she's quiet and expecting this. I can't say anything. But myself, I'm scared. Me, I'm scared, really. I don't like this.
If Jeanette was in need of an ambulance during the blackout, there would be no way to call one due to limited battery and no phone service. The 54th annual Cairo International Book Fair is taking place against the backdrop of a deep economic crisis. Egypt's currency, the pound, halved in value and prices skyrocketed in the past year. With inflation hitting 21.9% in December, culture is not the priority for many households. The situation in Egypt, the rising dollar exchange rate and the import crisis have led to a major increase in the publishing cost, including paper, ink, etc., since all the materials are imported. Therefore, books are now quite expensive for everyone. In addition, they are considered as an entertainment product. Egypt's publishing industry, historically a key exporter of Arabic literature, has already shown signs of trouble. As some publishing houses adapt to survive and offer discounts to attract clients, others collapsed altogether. Some publishers have decided to withdraw from the market. Because books are a luxury product, they'll inevitably be less of a priority when people need to budget for the basics. Many of the exhibiting publishers offer discounts. For example, if you buy 5 or 10 books, you get big discounts. Of course, only a few people can afford buying 10 books. So usually, friends decide to buy books from the same place to get them discounted. Organizers say the Arab world's largest book fair lured more than 500,000 visitors on its opening weekend. If the price of new books increased by up to double in a corner of the fair, vendors from Cairo's iconic Azbakia second-hand book market appear faced by the economic downturn. With most volumes going for under £20 or about less than $1, buying used books or pirated prints has become a necessity for some. The fair will run through February 6. Sudan's military ruler Abdel Fattah al-Burhan met Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen Thursday. The unprecedented one-day visit by an Israeli official to the African nation ended with the announcement of a future peace agreement. The leaders also discussed ways to establish fruitful relations. Less than an hour ago, I returned from Khartoum. I am happy to announce that as part of the visit, we agreed to sign a peace treaty between Sudan and Israel. Sudan is an Arab, Muslim and strategic country for Israel. Today we came back with 3 yeses. Yes to recognizing Israel, yes to negotiating with Israel, and yes to peace with Israel. This year will end 75 years of hostility to Israel. In 2021, Khartoum formally agreed to normalize ties with Israel, joining the Abraham Accords in a quid pro quo for the U.S. removing Sudan from its list of state sponsors of terrorism.
That's it for international news. We go straight into sports news. In sports, Arsenal forward Gabriel Martinelli has signed a new long-term contract. The Brazil international 21 joined from a Brazilian side Ituane in the summer of 2019 and has made 111 appearances in all competitions. He is an ever-present in the Premier League this season, scoring 7 goals to help the Gunners go 5 points clear at the top of the table. Martinelli made 8 appearances for the Brazil under-23 side before making his senior debut in March 2022. He was part of the Brazil squad for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, making 2 appearances as the Seleção reached the quarter-finals. Well, that's where we wrap it up this evening. The headlines once again. Mutendere residents storm police post after rumors of an inmate dying in custody. PIT-LATRINES overflow to people's homes in LUSAKA'S KALINGALINGA compound. Fuel monthly reviews have not affected any company, charges Energy Minister Peter KAPALA. In international news, blackouts in South Africa put pressure on health care. And in sports news, Arsenal forward Gabriel Martinelli signs new contract. We look at the Camnet verse of the day. It's coming from 1 Corinthians 2:9, and it reads, "However, as it is written, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him." Thank you so much for watching Camnet TV. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Good night and keep watching.